Hello, hello, hello. What's up? These country roads, they're nice. They're all over, like, roads like this are all over Taiwan. It doesn't matter where you go. You get these nice, fairly wide roads, fairly safe. Like, you don't have any driveways or anything. Sometimes you get roads like this that go for a while. And as long as there's no driveways, you can pretty much do any speed you want, because the only thing that's really holding you back on a road like this is the fear that you're going around a bend and then there's someone pulling in or out of a driveway and then they're blocking the road. And if you're doing a high rate of speed, it's your fault. I used to think that as long as you obeyed traffic rules other than speed limits, then you should be fine. And I believe that for a while. Like, for example, if I'm on a road and the speed limit's 50 and I'm doing 100 and it's a straight road, as long as no one cuts me off or does a turn in front of me, then I should be fine. So in my mind, as long as I, obey the traffic laws, like I stop at red lights and I signal and I just stuff like that. He's moving over, let me pass. That was nice. I was just thinking, like I used to think, is like if I'm going straight, and someone pulls out of a driveway in front of me, that's their fault. But it's not actually true, because if you're doing an excessively high rate of speed, like if you're doing 150, that should be okay. But if you're doing like 150 in a 50 or 200 in a 50, then the problem is that someone could want to leave their driveway and they could pull up and they could look and for the next, within a mile of their house, there's no traffic. So, obviously they can pull out. But if you're doing 200 kilometers an hour, you close that mile. You can eat up that mile that they can see in such a short amount of time that even though they look left, they look right, there's nothing coming. And as they start to pull out, you're flying up and you smash into the side of them. And then you think, oh, it's their fault because I was going straight and they were pulling out of a driveway. Therefore, I had the right of way. Like, it's kind of, your excessive speed negates that. If you're speeding by a bit, like if you're in a 50 and you're doing 80 and someone pulls out of a driveway in front of you, that's obviously their fault. And I'm pretty sure even the police would agree with that. But if you're doing an excessive amount of speed, you can't expect someone pulling out of a driveway to expect that. You can't expect someone pulling out of a side street or a driveway to factor in your excessive amount of speed. And it's something that I wanted to point out to the younger riders, because a lot of you guys think that. A lot of you guys think, because in general, if you're going straight on a straight road, you have the right of way. Anybody who wants to pull out of a driveway, anyone who wants to turn left in front of you, they need to wait for you to go by because you have the right of way, because you're just going straight on a straight road. But like I said, it's not actually true. If you're speeding excessively, you need to keep in mind that other people can't realistically predict your trajectory. Am I saying this all right? Am I making sense? She's having like a good conversation with that dog. That's so cute. That's so cute. Oh, you guys. She's just having like a long conversation. The dog's just sitting there looking at her, and she's like pointing at something and saying, she's either explaining to the dog that it should go home, or it's explaining to the dog that that's like an intersection and the dog should be more careful. But you can see her mouth just talking away, and she's pointing at this and pointing at that, and the dog's just looking at her. See, that's the way you should raise dogs. I actually had some idiot comment under one of my videos. He's like, why do you talk to your dogs? He goes, that's just stupid. And I'm like, no, actually, you're just stupid. Dogs, the more you talk to a dog, the more it learns to understand speech. Your average dog has a vocabulary of 180 words. That's a lot of words. That means when you're talking to them, there's 180 words that they can pick out that they understand. And that's your average dog. So if you had like a highly intelligent dog, 600 words maybe, 600 words. That's a lot of words. 600 words is probably comparable to like what, like a 2-year-old child or something. I don't know, 2, 3. I don't know. So yeah, a little off topic at the end there.